Hey, everybody, it is Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show and the Aftershocks podcast. And before we show you this next video, just wanted to remind you that you can add the CMSPN to your Roku. That's right. If you have a Roku or a Roku TV, just click the link below. It's in the scroll. It's also in the description of this video. And make sure you're logged into your Roku account on your computer, and it will add it right to your Roku. It'll add it, then you just refresh your device, and bang, there it is. That way you can watch all of our episodes, whether it's us or Skull Sessions or Talk to Me or Aftershocks or Classic Metal Show. All be on your TV. It's a deal, right? And it's free. All right, make sure you do that. And now, here's the video you actually came to see.
All right. Well, here we go. And welcome to another episode of Aftershocks at AftershocksTV.com on the CMS Podcast Network. And joining us today on this episode, we got a couple of Stoner Rock heavyweights coming to us from Portugal. And they're here to talk about their new album, Doom Machine. Came out last month on Small Stone Records. From Miss Lava, we got Johnny and Raffah on with us today. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man. How are you? Thank you.
Yeah. No,
thanks for having us,
man. Yeah, thanks for having me. We're very happy to be here with you guys.
Awesome, man. Well, we're happy you're here, and yeah, man. Let's get right into it, guys. I mean, the new album, Doom Machine, your guys' fourth record. It's your first for. It's been a while now. It's been about 4 years ago. You put out that EP, Dominant Rush, back in I think 2017. And man, like we were just talking before we came on here. What a record you guys put together here, man. I mean. There's so much to talk about. Let's start, I guess, what really stands out to me on this record compared to your guys' previous releases, which are all great, is the fact that this one, I think you definitely have sort of a more fuller sound on this release. Definitely a heavier bottom, more of a low end that we've heard on the previous, releases. So I guess we'll start off by, just talk a bit about what you guys did differently this time around with Doom Machine. That kind of, at least in my ears, really made it so much more complete and fuller than the previous releases.
Yeah, sure. We adopted a different process for the writing of this record. We had periods where we had like a bigger hiatus in the band, because Johnny was away in Angola, Africa, working for like 2-3 months in a row, and then we had to stop at that time. So whenever he got back, we would just go into the rehearsal room and just jam the fuck out, just play whatever came into our system, And then we just recorded all those jams, and after that we just started, okay, this can evolve into a song, And when it got time to go into the recording process, we talked to the producer. He went to the rehearsal room and he heard the stuff, and he said to us, well, you guys should record this live, just live on tape, like you guys are doing here in the rehearsal room. All these songs were born out of jams, so it just fit like very natural to do that process to record. And it was actually the first time that we used our setup like we have in the rehearsal room, and like we take to play live, So this record actually is the one that represents us more faithfully, maybe sound-wise, So what you hear in the record is actually what you get when you go into our rehearsal room, or what you get when you go and see us live, So I guess maybe when you're comparing the sound of this record to the previous records, I guess that plays a huge part,
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. And another thing I noticed too is the songs too they're a little bit shorter in length too on this record too than compared to the previous records. Was that something that was maybe a conscious decision to sort of maybe shorten the tracks a bit and take sort of like, sometimes bands like to take a less is more approach with their music and maybe make more just straightforward songs, make them a little bit shorter, more radio friendly, if you want to use that term. So was that a conscious decision you guys did, or is that just how it came out when you guys went in the room and started jamming?
No, well, this time around, we tried to let the songs. Maybe this will sound cliche, you know, but we just let the songs talk to us and tell us where we needed to go.
Okay.
And then the drummer Garcia had this idea, because we had so many jams recorded, like that we really liked some riffs and some ideas, and we just didn't want to leave them out. And so he had this idea of recording some interludes for the record, you know. And there's like lots of records like these old death metal records, you know, from Pestilence, Testimony of the Ancients, that are full of interludes. And those records are like, we loved those records when we were teens, you know. And then that all just like evolved naturally, you know, some of the songs being shorter, some not. We just think that each of those songs needed that space and needed that time. So that's about it, I guess.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, Raffah, I was reading the press, and it talked about how you used, you know, an absolute tragedy in your life to write, you know, to write much of this music. And, you know, I can only relate in that I've written a couple of books, and I've written books about, you know, rough times that I've gone through. I'm curious for you, how comfortable were you to write music knowing that people are going to hear it and kind of, you know, especially people that know you, and it's almost like you're opening your soul to a lot of people to, you know, interpret your feelings instead of keeping it private to yourself?
Well, it's never been a taboo here at our house, or that's just the person I am, you know. I have 3 more kids, and it would be wrong for me to make it a taboo, you know, and it wouldn't be healthy to make it a taboo. So I think this record is much as it is about darkness as it is about light, you know. And when I think about my son, you know, and when he came into this world, at the time I was fortunate to have with him, I think about light, you know. I don't think about darkness. So to me, it was never an issue of not letting people know, you know. And I can tell you a story over here. I don't know how it is in America, but over here, the day before people are buried, you go out, you go to a place, you know, so people can say goodbye to the deceased, you know, to the coffin. And as you can imagine, when we're talking about kids, it's like the overall emotion is very, very intense. It's like very, very heavy in the air, you know. And lots of people came, and when I look back at that moment, I just like I feel joy, you know, because people came to hug us and just to give love to us, you know. And so there's also this give back when you open up, people will give you love, you know, and that is very recomforting, and it actually helps you a lot to go through it. So I never thought about that, you know, about when I write this, will people will have to know, or people will know, what will they think? I never thought about that, actually. To me, it was just natural, you know. There's a piece that I wrote for the album. It's called Alpha. It's like one of the interludes that I really wanted to channel him, you know, and just play for him. And I made a point to record it in just one take. It has imperfections, and I really love listening to those imperfections, you know, because it's like I think it's the greatest homage I could ever make to his life here, you know, because it was so fragile, and that recording is also shows that fragility. So I don't know if I answered your question or not, because sometimes it's just so complex to talk about this, about different feelings we all had. We're still making sense of it. I don't know if it's just so huge. I don't know if I'll ever make a sense out of it. Like it's difficult to explain this in a swift manner, but I'd like to say that. This happened during the process, of course, but we also had other kids being born, in the band. So that also drove and fed a lot of the inspiration for the record, Other kids being born, and we being happy for those kids that are still here, and for their parents. And I don't know, this record is all that, I guess.
Sure. Now, Johnny, as the front man, was any of that uncomfortable for you to present? Or do you do it because you guys are all obviously brothers, and you're creating as a brotherhood, so you share the experiences and you share the emotions together?
Yeah, man. When something happens, a tragedy like that happens to us. Of course, you first you have to see how the family reacts. So you understand your role, what you should do, the way you can support them. So the funny thing, I think, is them supporting us, because their light was so bright, man. They were so strong, and they given us strength, and that strength we shipped into the record, man. Because we all start wondering what the hell we're doing with our lives, man. That's so much time wasted on the social media hatred. We're destroying our planet so much that we're not focused on love. And then we see a family with such loss and give us that strength to us back. So I never intend to do any homage in any song, in any lyrics, but at the same time, all is an homage, because of that light, and that's why Do Machine, the main lyric theme, it's about that light, that hope. Despite we all part of that negative machine, we are little pieces, but I have a way to see light and not the darkness. So I hope that people can get that message.
Sure. Well, if you can find a way to portray that to the world, you might be more than just a singer in a band, my friend, because Lord knows the world needs that,
Yeah, sure does, man.
Certainly. Well, guys, I'm not sure who would take this, who would be the most knowledgeable in this, but talk a little bit about the production on this record, because, as Matt said, it does sound a bit different. To me personally, I love the fact that it's very tight, but at the same time doesn't sound super polished. It has that kind of desert rock quality to it that so many, we could list the bands, but so many bands have. And I can't say enough good things about it, because it feels natural, but still like you guys are a razor sharp band.
Well, we can both talk, actually. I can talk about the instrumental part, and as I said earlier, when the producer just came into the rehearsal room and challenged us to record it live on tape, we just thought, well, okay, we just gotta rehearse it the fuck out of ourselves. Just like playing every time, every night, I like many hours. And then when we went into the studio, he was like, well, what do you want to, I was asking him, well, what amp should I use? And he said, what are you asking about? Well, bring your own amp. What settings should I put it? What are you talking about? What are the settings you use in your rehearsal room? Just do it like you always do in the rehearsal room. This was a big difference from the previous processes we had. And then when I asked him, well, you know what? But I got my stomp boxes. Is that how you call it in English? The pedals. Yeah. And he was like, just use the pedals like you normally do. But whenever I recorded in one of the other albums, I was like, I had to step on them first and then start recording. He said, fuck it, you're recording live, just stomp that thing and just do it, you know. And it was a great time, you know. Only the instrumental basic tracks were recorded live. The vocals were recorded separately. But you know, after the initial period where just fine tuning, you know, okay, the drums, okay, they're all tuned up, and the sound, the guitar is this loud enough because we're all in the same room, and you don't want the mic of the snare drum to get the guitar sound or the bass sound, you know. After that period, it was like just 3 days of just having a great time, you know. When I listen to our records, I listen also to memories, you know. And when I'm listening to a song, I'm envisioning a certain memory that song gives me, and normally those memories are of the moment of creation of the song or the recording moment of the song. When I listen to this record, I always remember just like we're having a great time playing and recording the album, and then going outside to have a beer after the song is done, you know. So it was a really, really cool process, and the production actually it was very fresh, you know. When you do it in this way, for instance, we were recording a song called Feel Surreal. It's one of the bonus tracks.
Okay.
And we recorded it, and we were like, the producer said, guys, come in here. Let's listen to this. And we're like, okay. And when it got to the middle part, we were like, this isn't working, you know. So we started talking about, why isn't this working? And then somebody came up with an idea, and then we went back into the room, created it on the spot, and recorded it like 5 minutes later, you know. So it's much more flexible. This whole process of production and recording it worked great for us. And for as for the vocals, maybe Johnny can tell you more.
Raffah almost says it all, but yes, my process was not only on the studio. I made myself many pre-productions, because as you know, we're not from the States or from UK. We're from Portugal, so I don't know if I'm saying the right words, and I say that, so I have to show a lot of people, so it stays the closest to the English. Well, yeah, you understand. So when I get to the studio, I was despite all that work, I was not comfortable with some 2 or 3 songs, and I told our producer, man, I want to do something different, man. Because the other guys of the band wasn't in the recording sessions, so I was like, man, I want to do something completely different, and he was like, man, let's do it. And I remember when I brought the guys to listen, they was like, man, I don't like this. I don't care if you don't like it. It's almost like, because it suits better the song, and now I'm happy. And then after 2-3 listens, they were like, man, you guys are right. It sounds way better. So. That thing you heard on the album, it's more spontaneous. So that's a vibe. That's a more spontaneous vibe on the record. So yeah. I think it's what you hear.
Sure, no doubt. You know, Raffah, you said a word before, fresh, and I'm going to circle back to that in a second. You know, because the one thing about your guys' sound is, you know, when you have that heavy fuzz sound, that's desert stoner psychedelic sound. It's definitely a sound that can become, over the course of time, if you don't really experiment too much outside of it, it can become stale and sort of bland. You know, like I'll just give a good example. In my opinion, like a band who's you know, obviously changed very little over the years, that stayed as strong as ever, is a band like, you know, one of the forefathers in Fu Manchu, right? I think we all can agree what a great band Fu Manchu is in terms of that, you know, having that fuzz. But there's also an exception to rule, in my opinion. You know, in terms of, for instance, some of the more modern bands like yourselves, you know, say over the last 15, 20 years, I'll give 2 examples, and I'll talk two European bands. One that I think that has evolved extremely well and has kept their sound fresh is Planet of Zeus from Greece. Love that band. I think they're an outstanding band. And on the flip side, a band I feel that really got very stale and sort of failed to maybe progress and really experiment more was the band Truck Fighters, who I liked them at first, but to me, eventually it all sounded the same, and it got very bland to me. With you guys, your sound really hasn't changed significantly, but it has enough to where the music is exciting and fresh. You know, that's something I think that's really difficult to pull off. So how do you guys really keep your music, you know, from sounding redundant, you know, from one record to the other, considering that this is a type of music that can easily get, you know, it could get stale if you don't kind of mess with it. I mean, do you guys really, I guess, you know, intentionally experiment, you know, making sure that, okay, maybe on this album, we're going to do something a little different than we did the next, or is it just like, we're just going to do what we do and whatever comes out, it comes out?
Well, it is always, we're just going to do what we do, and what comes out, comes out. But before we do that, we talk a bit, and we've always been moved by setting new challenges for ourselves, you know, like in the first EP was just, we gotta be able to put something out. In the first record, we wanted the experience to work with the famed European producer and so on. And in this record, the major challenge for us, because it was totally different for us to write through jams, because we had never done that before, you know, and then obviously recording. Whereas in the previous album, Sonic Debris, the creative approach was totally different. It was like we were all very mixed into the creative process. Some songs, I would write the songs at Johnny's place, you know, with him. Me with the acoustic guitar and Johnny singing, and we would like create the basis for a song there, you know. This time around, it was totally different. So I think that what we've been doing over the years, and the sound is the Miss Lava sound, but we always try to put something new into the process of creation.
Okay.
And maybe that's what keeps things more fresh, I guess.
I remember we have a conversation when we went to play a show in Spain, in Barcelona, and on that travel, on that journey, we spoke some key points, and one of them was the structure of the songs, because we all have verses, pre-chorus, chorus, and that kind of structure in the songs. And I remember I probably was the one that approached the band with this kind of feel, and I was like, man, we have to try a song without a chorus. Man, let's do it. Let's do it something different. And if you listen to our first song on the album, it doesn't have a chorus. And we open our album with a song without a chorus, or with a lot of different chorus, whatever you prefer to vision. So that's what. Despite we do whatever came naturally for us, we set ourselves free. You know, we unchain ourselves in the rehearsal room, so we don't have to do it. Man, this is asking for a chorus. No, man, this doesn't asking for a chorus. Let's see what's the music is asking. Yeah. So that's the new approach. Yeah.
There was that journey Johnny's talking about was like. Was very therapeutic for us. It was like almost we were with the shrink, you know, with the shrink being ourselves, because it's a long journey. It's a long journey to Barcelona, and I think also that we've kind of developed that also, you know, just being able to talk about things, you know, being able to talk about the songs. We're just fighting over the songs, you know, like we used to do back in the days, you know. And that's also been like a major growth thing for us, you know, just talking about that, and trying to see different sides to the songs and what each one of us thinks. And it was great, actually, because I wasn't remembering the trip, and what Johnny said is true. He actually he insisted very much that we started doing songs that didn't have like that standard structure, you know. Just verses, pre-chorus, chorus, verses, pre-chorus, because that's more like a pop structure, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, no, good point. So let's talk just a little bit about the the hard rock scene in Portugal. I mean, because when most of us, at least here in the States, when we think of Portugal, the first band that comes, I'm sure Chris will say it, first band that comes to our mind is Moonspell. You think more of, the gothic-y metal type of stuff. Well, that's, in the 90s when we grew up, 2000s, early 2000s, that was sort of the music that we had, were hearing that was coming from your guys' neck of the woods there. But the thing about, and the thing is there was nothing really we've heard coming out of Portugal, a lot of at that point at that time from Southern Europe that had really a stoner desert type of sound to it. I mean, but now it's a whole different story. I mean, if you go obviously anywhere in Southern Europe, there you go even a little east of you guys there. Obviously, Greece has a great scene there. Italy, they have probably one of the biggest record labels for this kind of music with heavy psych sounds. Yeah. So there's so much going on in Southern Europe with this type of sound. So what is it really about this style of hard rock that resonates with you guys and so many others? Not only just really, I guess, in your area, but really just in Europe in general, I guess, because when you think of desert rock, you're thinking of Kaish, you're thinking of the desert. But yeah, here it is. It's a sound that really is transcended across the continent, and it's obviously especially these days, very big and prevalent in your, part of the continent there in Europe.
Yeah, what I can say is that all those countries you talked about, we're like the fucked up countries of Europe, man. It is true, man. The south of Europe, it's always more difficult, and us even more we're like almost in the ass of Europe, if you want, man. For instance, when you're in Central Europe, you just get in the van and you go to like 5 countries. They're all like there together. It's totally different. We're like in the periphery, if you want, And of course, we have more deserty sounds, landscapes. So I think maybe, that all resonates more with what the initial desert rock pioneers put out as their art, So maybe that's what gets us more. But of course, there are a lot of great stoner bands from Germany, from Sweden, and from everywhere else. But I really think this way, like Portugal, Italy, and Greece, and Spain also, they're like fucked up cousins of Europe. Whenever the first there's like the major crisis, whenever there's like this global crisis, where do they hit the most in Europe? These countries, always like that, because we're more. I think that there's a Latin base to all of us, and we're more passionate when we create art, I guess, and when we talk about our stuff. So I guess that's it, but I don't know, but I think that's it.
Definitely.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to make an assumption here, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong here. It really, excuse me, it sounds like Miss Lava has turned much more into a family than a band. Just from talking to you guys, you guys sound very much like brothers more than you do, singer, guitar player. Is that how you feel like the band has developed, to where you guys are like almost family first that just happens to do something together?
Yeah, man, you nailed it. That's right. We all feel like we're part of each other's families, and we are family, of course. Me and Raffah, we go back since I was I think 15 or something, man. 44. Yeah. I'm 44 now, so we know each other. He fired. We used to have a band. He fired me, but I still invite him to this band. So we go along. Yeah. We're long friends. Yeah, of course. We like families. We have our things, and we don't love each other all the time, but of course we love each other all the time. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And even when Ricardo, he's the guy that enters like 5 or 6 years ago. he's part of our family now as well, man. He's like 10 years younger than us, and sometimes he's our parent. So we are the kids, and the guy is the one. It's older. So man, we bully each other, we like each other, we joke each other, we love, we hate each other. We're definitely a family.
That's a brotherhood, yeah.
Yeah, brotherhood of eternal love.
There it is. Core, baby. Well, guys, the brotherhood of eternal love is not only the band, but it's also one of the best tracks on the record. The record is Miss Lava, of course. It's Doom Machine. And guys, where should people go online to find out more about Miss Lava and keep up with you guys? And, you know, should the world ever decide to open up, see where you're going to be playing and all that stuff?
Well, if you go over to misslava.com, you have all the links there to different Facebook, to Instagram, to Twitter. You know, you can follow us wherever, and you can find all the information in those social media profiles, I guess.
All right, excellent.
All right.
Well, guys, thanks once again for joining us here on Aftershocks, man. We really love
you.
talking to you guys.
Yeah.
We love to talk to you guys as well, man.
It was a lot of fun. Take care, guys. Great talking.
Take care,
Take
guys.
care. Stay happy, guys. Thanks.
Take care, guys. Thanks for listening to Aftershocks. For more episodes, go to our website at www.aftershockspodcast.com. Visit us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more news and information on the podcast. And be sure to subscribe, listen to, and review all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. For your music listening pleasure, visit our website or go to www.shockwavesradio.com. For all comments and questions, please email us at info@aftershockspodcast.com.
All right, everybody, another great interview right here on Aftershocks TV. And before we go, just want to remind you one more time, make sure you get over and subscribe to the CMS Podcast Network, cmspn.com. You can watch, you can listen, you can subscribe to everything that we do, not only us, but the Classic Metal Shows, Shockwave Skull Sessions, Talk to Me. It's all there, one site, get 4 great shows, never have to do anything again but be entertained. So check it out, cmspn.com, cmspn.com, cmspn.com. Until next time, folks.